Hello, hello. Are you ready for a fourth line day? We are still in gate 31, of course, and gate 31 in the line 4 is called intent. When we step into the fourth line, we step into the upper trigram. And we have a totally different process from the lower trigram. Gate 31 is a collective gate, which means it's already inherently social. We're dealing with the collective gate of leadership and the gift, the genetic quality of being transpersonal. In other words, this is where you can have really powerful leadership. The lifetime learning of this fourth line of externalization, this intent, it says the success of influence based on how it is perceived. This is the leader who is always putting out its influence. What a fantastic position for a fourth line, because fourth lines are inherently influential. So what is intent all about? What is leadership all about? You know, we live in a duality, of course, and so in a sense, you're always leading the duality. In any political party, you have those who love the leader and those who hate the leader, even if they pretend to love the leader because they're supposed to. You might find the same dynamic within a family group. You know, imagine that you have a fourth line and you've got two people in your life and they both have the same problem, say, and so you give them both exactly the same solution, remedy. One of them loves you for it and the other one hates you. And that's what it is to carry this 31-4 of intent. In the exaltation, it says public acknowledgement of a nurturing and protective influence, external positive recognition of one's capacity to lead. And in the detriment, we have perceived ego aggrandizement and attempted manipulation, the external negative projection of one's capacity to lead. So here we have people who are always trying to externalize their leadership, and half of the people are accusing them of being pushy and arrogant, and the other half are praising them because they think it's wonderful to have somebody who is guiding them. It says something very special, really, about leadership. It says that to be a leader is to accept hatred in your life, which is quite something to think about. You know, to be a leader is to recognize that you cannot lead all of the people all of the time. You cannot convince or change them. And the only way that leadership is ultimately successful is if it provides security. And if you cannot provide security, physical security, you know, reliable shelter, a supply of food, education, medicine, all of these things, then that's the moment that your leadership really falls apart. The whole thing about being a leader in the collective is that you have to be able to accept criticism because it's a logical process and logic is so critical. It's constantly challenging. And so this 31 is going to be constantly challenged. And that's correct, really, isn't it? Our leaders should be constantly challenged. They should prove that they're worthy to be our leaders. But to be a 31-4 is a leader who needs to grow a thick skin, really, in order to be able to face both those who love and those who hate that style of leadership. The 41-4 is called correction. So all of these grounding gates of the 41, they seem to be really well matched to the sun in the 31. So this is a line that talks about successful adaptation to limitation and the survival of the fittest. It's very useful to have these traits in a leader, really, especially one who is always putting out its influence. The moon is still in gate 42 in the sacral, and it moves into the individual sacral gate 3 at 11 minutes past 12. This is called difficulty at the beginning. And it's the gate of ordering. It's a gate that has the ability to establish order so that individual mutative energy can take hold according to a clear sacral response. And the moon here in gate 3 brings us a channel with Pluto in gate 60. This is the channel of mutation. It's a format energy. It's a design of energy which fluctuates and initiates in a pulse. It's here to bring radical change into the world, but not constantly. It's unpredictable. And everybody has to grow and adapt to the changes as they come, moving from chaos to order and back again. This format channel, as all format channels do, influence the entire individual circuit. Well, they don't, not all the format channels influence the individual circuit, which is what that sounded like. They all influence the circuit that they are the format for. And the 360 is the format for individuality. So the individuality, because it's got a pulse energy, it's a kind of all or nothing mutative quality that we have here. Next, we have the tribal sacral gate 27. 27 is next up for the moon in 2147. This is the gate of nourishment. It's the gate of caring, the gate of putting your own needs first, because you know that you have to be in really good shape if you are going to take care of others. You know, and that's what this gate is demanding. Both sides of that. You have to take care of others, but you also have to be able to be in a position that you have the energy and the resources to do so. So it's a really good thing to be guided by strategy and authority in this gate, because that can help set boundaries. It can help you to place healthy limits around where you place your attention. And this in turn then prevents overextension and losing sight of what your own needs are. And tomorrow morning at 7:27, the moon transits into gate 24. This is the individual Ajna gate of the return, the gate of rationalization, with a natural and spontaneous process of transformation and renewal. This gate has a mechanic of returning to a thought over and over, bound to contemplate it until a concept is clear and has the potential to impact others. So these are our gates today, the moon and the transit gates that we have in the sun and the earth. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for giving me your time, sharing your energy with me as we go through this journey together. And I will see you again tomorrow for a line 5. And until then, as always, go gently.